All right, what's up, guys? How are we doing? We got a little shorter slate today, just a little 5-gamer, but as always, guys, we're going to talk through tonight's slate. We're going to answer questions. It's been a pretty quiet news day. The only thing that's kind of important that we're waiting on is the status of Julius Randle. So Julius Randle was listed as out, for COVID protocols, but he has cleared COVID protocols and now could maybe play depending on his conditioning. This is the one big injury that we're kind of waiting on, because obviously, this is gonna impact a good amount. If Randle does return, it's gonna make Obi Toppin look basically Obi Toppin would be out of play. I think it would make some of these other guys like R.J. Barrett, Evan Fournier, Alec Burks look a little less appealing. So the status of Julius Randle is really important. We're gonna have to watch that, and that's basically it. There hasn't been too much news today. It's been pretty quiet news-wise. Seems like with the health and safety protocols, like we're kind of getting to a point where I don't think we have to worry about random guys getting randomly ruled out anymore. Like at this point, the health and safety protocol stuff is kind of starting to really slow down. A lot of players have already been put in health and safety protocols before, so I don't think we have to worry about that too much. But Julius Randle being questionable, that's the one injury we're waiting on, and that's really it for tonight's slate. So yeah, if you guys have questions, you can start throwing those in chat. We'll be live till about 6:30, trying to answer just about every question if possible. But I hope you guys had a good day today. Hope you guys have been doing well DFS wise. Hopefully we can win some money tonight, and let's start getting into it, baby. Morant, Derek White, Devin Vassell, Domantas Sabonis, Damian Jones, Dwayne Washington, Evan Mobley, Sykes. I think that's solid, Bill. I like that lineup quite a bit. The Pacers are going to be a team you definitely have to kind of load up on today. It's really hard to not be rostering multiple Pacers on this slate, just with how they're given so many minutes to Sabonis, so many minutes to Miles Turner, Washington, Sykes. Those guys are playing a ton as well. I think that's the solid lineup there for sure. Morant, Vassell, or Sabonis, Sykes, Washington, Jr. I would say Sabonis and Washington there. Van Vliet, Siakam, Sabonis, or Bane, Morant, White. Sabonis or Bane, Morant, White. Give me the first there. Give me the first, Mario. Let's go. I'm excited. Hey, let's get it, baby. Let's get it. Value plays. I mean, value-wise today, you're looking to the Pacers. Sykes or Skies, however you say his name, he's projecting as a really good value. He started at point guard last game for the Pacers, played a ton of minutes. Dwayne Washington played a ton of minutes as well. Both those guys are cheap. I think if Damian Jones starts at center again, Damian Jones is a really good value. His price has come up a little bit, but I still think he stands out as a good cheap option. Those are kind of like my 3 favorite values, and then there's some other guys that you can maybe throw some darts on, like Devin Vassell if he starts again. Keita Bates-Diop is back for the Spurs, so I think that might hurt Devin Vassell a little bit, but I think Vassell, if he starts, would still be a decent value. But like those 2 Pacers guys, Sykes and Washington, and then Damian Jones are like my 3 favorite values, I think. Thoughts on Burks and Barrett? I mean, I think Alec Burks, I want to see what the starting lineup is for the Knicks. They started Miles McBride at point guard last game, but he did not play much in the second half, and they started Alec Burks over Miles McBride in the second half. So I think there's a pretty good chance that they start Alec Burks at point guard today. If Alec Burks starts at point guard, I think he's a pretty good play. We know Alec Burks can be productive, especially when he's the point guard and he's the guy with the ball in his hands. And then R.J. Barrett, I think R.J. Barrett's viable as well. Just without Derrick Rose, without Kemba, there's plenty of opportunity for these guys. I will say that if Julius Randle plays, it's going to make those 2 look a little less appealing, but I still think they would be viable. Thoughts on Derek White? I mean, yeah, with Dejounte Murray still out, Dejounte Murray is going to play tomorrow, but he's not playing today. So I think with Dejounte Murray still out, Derek White's going to have a ton of opportunity. He's going to have the ball in his hands a ton. He's going to play a lot of minutes if it's a close game. Still fairly cheap. I think Derek White's a really good option. I would say Washington there, Scully. Between those 5, I would say Washington. Washington and Holiday from the Pacers in play for value? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Pacers are definitely a team that, kind of stands out value-wise, just because if you look at their rotation last game, if you look at how many minutes the starters played, pretty sure every starter played at least like 34 minutes last game. So Miles Turner, Sabonis, Washington, Holiday, Skies, all 5 of those guys are in play. They're all going to play a ton if it's a close game. I don't think they have much confidence in their bench right now. The guys that the Pacers have off the bench, I don't think they really want to be playing those guys much. Lance Stevenson. I don't even know who else they have. What do you think of this? Washington's quickly, LeBron, Sabonis, Damian Jones, Fox, Jalen Smith, and Skies. I think that's solid, Michael. I like that. Mobley or Turner? Give me Miles Turner. Jalen Smith or Herbert Jones? Jalen Smith for me. Lock and load Chris Paul. I think Chris Paul looks pretty appealing on DraftKings. I think, Chris Paul, De'Aaron Fox, I think those guys look really good in the mid-range. Derek White, those guard options I like quite a bit. I think Chris Paul is definitely a little too cheap. Chris Paul is 7,400 and Devin Booker's like almost 9K. Like I think between the two, I think they both project very similarly. So I would just rather play Paul, who's $1,400 cheaper than Devin Booker. Any Marvin Bagley love today? We did get word that Chimezie Metu's out. I think that's kind of important. Metu did play like 15 minutes last game, so I think you might see more minutes from Marvin Bagley. You might see more playing time for like Mo Harkless, who barely played last game, but I think with Metu being out, that makes Bagley look a little bit more appealing. Obviously, the matchup against the Lakers is really good. I think this game, this Kings-Lakers game has a lot of stack appeal. There's a lot of viable plays on both sides of that game. So I think Bagley's a fine tournament option. Quickly or Cameron Payne. Give me, man, that's a close one, Michael. I would say give me Payne, but that's close. Skies White, LBJ, Sabonis, Biyombo, Fox, Culver, Justin Holiday. Too risky. I mean, yeah, like Biyombo, Jarrett Culver. I know Jarrett Culver played a lot last night, but I don't think I'd be chasing that. Like, I know there's some guys that I think Memphis is getting back today. I think I saw that, yeah, Zaire Williams is questionable. Like, if Zaire Williams plays, I'd assume he would probably play more than Jarrett Culver. I don't think I really want to chase that Jarrett Culver game from yesterday. And then Biyombo, I mean, Biyombo's just like the backup center right now for Phoenix. If Jalen Smith plays like 32 minutes, it probably means Biyombo's only playing like 16. And I know Biyombo got some blowout run last game, but yeah, like Biyombo and Culver, I don't think I'd be playing personally. But in the end, man, Ryan, it's your lineup. You do what you want, buddy. Sabonis or Morant? Give me Sabonis straight up. 25 plus points for Book tonight. I mean, I think Devin Booker can definitely get. I mean, he can score 25 plus points any night. I'm guessing his Prize Picks projection. I don't know what it is. 25. Yeah, so you basically 26 points for Devin Booker. I mean, 26 points for Devin Booker is definitely achievable. Devin Booker that day against Boston when I took his over on points, he really hurt my feelings because he scored 22 points while shooting the ball freaking terrible. I mean, if the game stays close, I think 26 points for Devin Booker is pretty achievable. So, I mean, yeah, I think that's fine to take if you want to. CP3 or Russell Westbrook? I mean, I'd probably take Russell Westbrook straight up if you have his salary. You like Vassell? I think with K-Base Diop back, Vassell takes a little hit, but we're gonna have to wait and see who the Spurs start. We know that Derek White, Jakob Poeltl, Keldon Johnson are gonna start. Last game they started Vassell and Trey Jones. Do they start Vassell and Trey Jones again? Do they start K-Base Diop and Trey Jones? Do they start K-Base Diop and Vassell? Like, we don't really know what the Spurs are going to do there with the starting lineup, but I think if Vassell is starting, he probably still plays a good amount to where he's viable. But he played like over 40 minutes last game in overtime. I would not expect that again. But I think low 30s is pretty reasonable to project him for. Barrett or Jakob Poeltl? I would say Jakob Poeltl there, but that's a close one. Who's a good small forward that's good for value? Let's see. I mean, I know Devin Vassell is a decent value, 4,400. You could play him. Yeah, if you're looking for like small forward value, you're probably looking at like Devin Vassell or Justin Holiday, like one of those two guys. I'd be taking, I think. On FanDuel, Derek White for 8K or Chris Paul for 7,800. Ooh, that's really close, Michael. I think Derek White and Chris Paul project very closely. Man, I think I'd side with Derek White over CP3, but that's a coin flip, I'll be honest. Is building a lineup around LeBron and Sabonis going to be too chalky, or can you get different elsewhere? I mean, you can play LeBron and Sabonis on the slate and still be, unique. I mean, I'm sure, right now LeBron's projected for 44% ownership. Sabonis is projected for 42. So yeah, they're both going to be pretty popular, but that doesn't mean you can't play them together. I mean, there's obviously ways you can build a unique lineup that still has those two guys in it. Appreciate the content and feedback, Noah. Hey, Bill, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you tuning in. Paul White or Fox? I mean, I like De'Aaron Fox a lot in tournaments. Right now, his ownership is not insanely high. He's only projected for 13%. I think if we get De'Aaron Fox at 13% ownership against the Lakers at only 7,100, like that looks really, really good. So I definitely like De'Aaron Fox a lot. I don't think he projects as good as Chris Paul or Derek White, but he might get lower ownership than those guys, which, in tournaments, I definitely like. Thoughts on Derek White, Damian Jones, Josh Hart? I mean, Derek White, with Deontay still out, I think it's a really good play. Damian Jones, if he starts at center again, he played like almost 30 minutes last game. Have to assume he probably plays similar minutes. So I still think Damian Jones is a good value. And then Josh Hart. I mean, Josh Hart, I think his price is probably where it should be. But, he's still in play because Josh Hart's one of those guys that, he can do a little bit of everything when he's on the court. And he's going to play a ton of minutes as well if the game stays close. How's this GPP? Washington, Van Vliet, Barrett, Mobley, Jalen Smith, Fox, Clark, Chris Paul, LeBron, a must-have. I mean, I wouldn't say LeBron's like a must. I think LeBron's one of the best pay-up options. I think LeBron has the highest floor on the slate. I think he probably has the highest ceiling as well. Is he a must-play, though? I mean, I wouldn't say so. But I think that looks solid, CB. I would take Washington there, Coley. I think we already answered that. Fox or CP3? Again, I think CP3 projects better, so he might be the optimal play, but Fox I like a lot in tournaments, so honestly, give me De'Aaron Fox. Allen Booker, Siakam, or Van Vliet? Give me Van Vliet there between those four. Favorite spin up? I mean, it's got to be LeBron or Sabonis. One of those two guys. They're both going to get ownership, but I think those are two of the best spin ups. Thoughts on Quickly? I mean, with Kimba and D Rose still out, I think Quickly should play a decent amount off the bench. I don't think he's that cheap. Like, yeah, he's 4,400. I mean, he probably plays like mid-20s minutes. At 4,400, I think he's fine, but like he's not a great value in my opinion. He doesn't really project that well. Even if you expect him to play like 25, 26 minutes, which is probably what he gets. LeBron or Sabonis? Probably LeBron straight up if you have the salary, but again, both those guys are very good plays. Both project very, very well. They're two of the top projected options on the slate. Rank CP3, White, Fox, Halliburton. Probably Fox, White, CP3, Halliburton in that order. Favorite small forward on Yahoo? Yeah, small forward is really bad on Yahoo today. I think like Josh Hart, Scotty Barnes, and if you're going cheap, probably like Justin Holiday. Like those are probably my three favorites. I don't mind Lauri Markkanen either. He's kind of cheap. Washington, White, Alec Burks, Sabonis, Jalen Smith, Fox, Markkanen, Damian Jones. I think that's solid, Jace. I think that's a solid lineup. Jalen Smith, Pirtle, Barrett, or Damian Jones. Give me Jalen Smith there, but that's another close one. I think all those guys project so similar, outside of maybe Damian Jones. If you had to choose Ariza or Harkless, I mean Harkless barely played last game. I don't even think he was like in the rotation, so I guess I'd go Ariza. I don't feel great about either one of those guys though. You think Garland will be on a minutes restriction? Probably. I mean, it's been a while since Garland's played. I don't think Garland's really playable on this slate, just with how expensive he is. He hasn't played in like almost a week and a half, so I would think Garland's going to be on some sort of limit, even if even if he's not limited at 9,400. I don't think you're playing Garland today. You think it's a solid small forward in the 25-30 range on Yahoo? That is probably Josh Hart or Scotty Barnes. One of those two guys are probably playing. Stevens or Culver, last man in. I mean, I guess if I had to pick one, give me Culver. I don't feel great about either one of those guys, though. All right, got a $5 super chat from Nicholas. Sup, no one need a guard and utility. Have an 8,300 left. Who would you go with? Love the content. I appreciate that, Nicholas. Appreciate the $5 super chat, man. You need a guard and a util, and you have 8,300. So you're going to make me do some math here. Come on, Nicholas. You know I hate doing math, buddy. Okay, let's figure this out for my man, Nicholas, since he super chatted. Well, if you play Malik Monk, that would leave you 3,200 left. I don't think there's really anyone that's playable at 3,200, so probably wouldn't do that. If you play Washington, that would leave you 4,300 for util. I mean, yeah, that's probably your play right there is Washington and then like Damian Jones. I mean, I'm assuming you don't have those guys, so probably Washington and Damian Jones I'd be playing. If you already have those guys, then just ask again. I'll try and answer. Forbes a viable play tonight? Yeah, Bryn Forbes, I mean, he got hot off the bench last game. But, like, Bryn Forbes is just a dude that I never play. And I think with K Debates out back, like, there's more minutes available for him, so that's probably going to take away minutes from Forbes. I don't think I'd be playing Bryn Forbes. You think Brandon Clark's a good pick? I mean, I think Brandon Clark's viable. He should, play, like, low 20s minutes off the bench. He's fairly cheap. I think he's a playable value option. Austin Rivers, the Nuggets don't play today, man. Nuggets don't play today. Because Zaire Williams is available to play, and Yves Pons is ruled out. I have no idea who that is. But Zaire Williams is available to play, so like if you're playing Jarrett Culver, I mean, that's That makes it a little bit thin now that Zaire Williams is available to play. 4K shooting guard on DK. Let's see. Man. I mean, I know I was just talking shit on Bryn Forbes, but Bryn Forbes might be your best play there. Yeah, you probably just play Forbes, I guess. But there's not a lot of shooting guards I like in that price range. Quickly or Monk? Give me Monk. What do you think about Bagley tonight? Yeah, we answered questions about Bagley earlier. I think with Metu out, that helps Bagley enough to where he's playable. But at his price point, I still don't think he's like a great option. Fox White or Paul? I mean, give me Fox in tournaments. He's the guy I like most, I think. Especially if he's going to be the lowest owned of those three. Best 5,400 or less forward? Probably Buddy Hield I'd be playing there. Van Vliet or Ja? Give me Ja. Any interest in Trey Jones for value? I would only play Trey Jones if he starts again. And I think there's a pretty good chance Trey Jones goes to the bench with Keita Bates-Diop back. So, yeah, not really that interested in Trey Jones. How does Diop availability impact Vassell or Forbes? I mean, I think Vassell probably still starts. So, I think Vassell still is fine. Forbes, though, coming off the bench. I mean, Forbes got really hot last game. So, I think in order to play Forbes on this slate, you just got to hope that he gets hot again off the bench, which could happen. But I don't feel great about Forbes personally. I think Vassell is still a good play, though. You like any Tyus Jones? I mean, Tyus Jones, I thought he would play a lot last game just with how thin Memphis was. No Kyle Anderson, no Dylan Brooks, no Conchar, no DeAnthony Melton, but he still didn't play that much. How much did he play? I think it was like 18 minutes. He was really productive yesterday, but he didn't play but like 19 minutes for Tyus Jones, which I think is somewhat concerning, but Tyus Jones can be somewhat productive when he gets minutes. On this slate, outside of the Pacers guys and outside of like Damian Jones, there's not a ton of standout value. So I think Tyus Jones is playable. 155 in the chat, only 23 likes. You can do better than that. Hey, you guys heard my man. Hit the like button, fellas. That's awesome. We got 155 people in here. The streams, man, the streams have been growing like every day. I mean, we got 183 viewers right now. We love to see that, baby. The streams have been doing so well. A ton of you guys are in here every day. I appreciate all of you. Just please hit the like button, fellas. I always appreciate the likes, and I always appreciate all you guys' support. And, super chats as well. Greatly, greatly appreciate those. They're never necessary, but all you guys that have super chatted before. And to my man Nicholas with the $5 super chat, I appreciate you, buddy. Fox or Halliburton? Again, give me Fox there. Thoughts on Avery Bradley? Yeah, I don't think I'd be playing Avery Bradley. Even with the lack of value today, that's a hard pass. Bane or Pirtle on Yahoo? Give me Bane over Pirtle, but that's a close one. Mobley or Love? Give me Mobley. Any Triple J love? I mean, Triple J, you know the story with Triple J. He gets in foul trouble a lot. If he stays out of foul trouble, he's got upside, but, man, he's just a super volatile player. I've watched you for 2 years, Noah. I never commented your breakdowns are legit, and I want to follow winners. Great job, boss. Hey, appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Been following for 2 years. Appreciate y'all the long-time support. Jalen Smith or Damian Jones? I would take Jalen Smith straight up. How much Bane do you have? I mean, I only play one lineup in NBA, and right now, Bane is not in my one lineup. So I guess I have no Bane. Yeah. 4,600 shooting guard. Let's see. I mean, probably Payne or Quickly. I would probably just go Payne there. That'd be your best bet. Would you go Westbrook from LeBron and GPPs? I mean, Westbrook, I think Westbrook's fine, but Westbrook's just such a, volatile player. It seems like Westbrook, he's either going to, triple-double and score, 50 DK points, or he's going to be, completely terrible. I've not been on Westbrook that much this year. I think the only times I've played Westbrook this year has been when, LeBron's been out, or earlier this year when, AD missed some games, but it's just been the LeBron show lately. So I would still be trying to play LeBron, honestly, just straight up. And right now, let me see what Westbrook's ownership is. I mean, Westbrook's ownership is 15% and LeBron's is 44%. So, I mean, there's a pretty wide gap there. Still, man, I think I would just take LeBron if it was my lineup. Siakam or Turner? I mean, probably Siakam if you have a salary. One pick for prospects you feel 100% confident? I mean, I'll be honest, man. I can never give you a pick that I'm just it's 100% guaranteed to win. Those don't exist. But I would say one of my favorite picks I like on prospects today is Dwayne Washington over his points. So it was 11.5 earlier today, and now it's 12.5. But last game, Dwayne Washington, he led the team in shots. He took 17 shots last game for the Pacers, which was the most on the team. He played a ton of minutes as well. He had 20 points last game, and then the game before that, he shot the ball terrible. 3 for 14, 0 for 6 from 3. He still had 8 points in those 30 minutes. Like right now, he's taking 14, 15, 16 shots a game. He's playing 30-plus minutes. I think over 12.5 points for Dwayne Washington is one of my favorite plays on PrizePicks today. And that's obviously a pick I gave out for Patreon members. If you're a Patreon member, you should have saw that earlier today. But am I 100% confident in that? I mean, hell no. I mean, there's never... In sports betting and player props, gambling, there's never plays that are 100% going to win. You never know what's going to happen, but you try and do your best to predict what's going to happen. And I feel like looking at the usage that Washington's getting, the minutes he's getting, the shot attempts, getting us 13 points I think is pretty reachable for him. Pick one, Josh Hart or OG. Give me Josh Hart. Already have Washington. Okay, so let me see. Nicholas. So you already have Washington, so you need a 4K guard. I mean, if you don't have Skies, I mean, Skies is probably like the next best cheap guard, or Sykes, however you say his name. He's 3,500, so you could probably go him and Damian Jones, or you'll have some extra salary. If you want to upgrade from Damian Jones, you can. Is 5 Pacers insane? Should I rebuild? I would not be playing 5 Pacers. I think that's too much. If you're playing 5 Pacers, then you're probably playing the entire starting lineup, I'd assume. I don't think I'd be doing that. I think probably would cap it at like 3 or 4. Morant and Mobley or LeBron and Barrett? Give me LeBron and Barrett, Bill. That's a close one. Utility on Yahoo for $20. Let's see. I mean, Alec Burks I like a lot if he starts. I think he's too cheap if he's starting. We're going to have to wait and see what that Knicks starting lineup is, though. I mean, probably like... I mean, I don't really play Steven Adams that often, but Steven Adams might be like your best bet there, Ronald. Or maybe like Keldon Johnson. Maybe Steven Adams or Keldon Johnson, one of those two. VanVleet, Sabonis, Siakam, or Love, White, Hart, Turner. Going on big on attorney. So VanVleet, Siakam, Sabonis, or Kevin Love, Derek White, Siakam, Hart. Hold on. VanVleet, Sabonis, Siakam, or Love, White, Siakam, Hart, Turner. I mean, that's like a 3v5. I think you kind of messed up that question, Mario. I guess give me VanVleet, Sabonis, Siakam there. First time here, what's up, Noah? Hey, what's up, Andrew? What's up, my man? Appreciate you tuning in. For $16, who would you recommend at forward on Yahoo? I mean, probably like Justin Holiday or Lauri Markkanen, one of those two guys. Or Jalen Smith. If you don't have Jalen Smith, I would say Jalen Smith is my favorite. Do you like Garland? I think Garland might be on a minutes limit. And even if he's not, I think he's probably, at his price point is not really that great of a play. I mean, he's almost 10K on DraftKings. It's really tough to prioritize Garland today. Morant and Justin Holiday or Paul and Barrett? Give me Paul and Barrett. Siakam or Turner? I think we answered that already. I said Siakam. All right, we got another $5 super chat from my man Nicholas. All right, here's the lineup. Washington, Derek White, LeBron, Jalen Smith, Pirtles, Guys Mobley, and Monk. Look good. Thanks, Noah. Hit the like button, guys. I did. Hey, Nicholas, appreciate you, man. That looks like a pretty solid lineup to me. The people might copy that, but yeah, I appreciate the super chat, buddy. I would recommend you guys don't post your full lineups in chat, but you do what you want. If someone copies your lineup and then you win a GPP and you tie for first because someone copied your lineup, that's going to be brutal. But I think that's solid, Nicholas, and I appreciate the $5 super chat, man. Trey Jones or Washington? Give me Washington. Derek White or Halliburton? Derek White. Quickly or Monk? Give me Monk. What's up, Noah? Good luck tonight to you and the rest of the GOAT posse. Hey, appreciate you, Mark. Good luck, my man. Oh, I meant Austin Reeves. Is he in play? I mean, Austin Reeves, I think he's going to come off the bench. He's kind of like, he's a really scoring-dependent player. I don't know how much he played last game. I know he recently returned from protocols. He played 22 minutes last game. I mean, I think Reeves is playable. He's the minimum salary, but that's more of like a showdown play or just like showdown. I don't know if I'd play him on the main slate. Mobley and Culver or Smith and Payne? Give me Smith and Payne. I'm running LeBron, Sabonis, and Chris Paul. I think that's solid, Tanner. I think that's solid. Noah, you're the GOAT. We will be here. We will be at 1,000 people in here soon. I appreciate you, Jason. Hopefully the streams get that big one day. Hopefully so. It seems like every day we're just getting more and more people in here, so that's obviously a good sign that I'm doing something right. Okay, we did get some news here. Lamar Stevens will start ahead of Kevin Pangos. I mean, I don't think Lamar Stevens, now that he's starting, is even that great of a value. And we did get word Julius Randle is available to play. So now that Julius Randle's playing, I mean, obviously Obi Toppin is basically out of play. I do want to see though what the starting lineup is for the Knicks. I want to see that Alec Burks is in there, because I did have Alec Burks was a core play for me on Yahoo. If he starts, if he doesn't, I'll have to make some changes there. But now that Julius Randle's playing, I would basically be off of Obi Toppin, and I think, you know, the bigs like Mitchell Robinson, he just doesn't look as appealing. I think Barrett gets a slight downgrade. So yeah, not a ton that I love from the Knicks, to be honest with you. Outside of Burks, if he starts, I would like quite a bit, especially on his at his Yahoo price. 3600 util, need someone. Thanks, Noah. Let's see, 3600 util. I mean, probably Sykes if you don't have him already. I would be playing there. Noah, good looking on the referral prize picks. I made $800 in 2 days. Hey, Stefan, we love to hear that, man. We love to hear that. We've been killing on prize picks so far this year. Hopefully we can keep it going in 2022, or at least last year, I guess, in 2021. Had a really good year on prize picks. Hopefully we'll be able to do the same this year. You feel like it's difficult rostering Raptors now that they're fully healthy? Yeah, it's really tough to prioritize many Raptors today, just because they are, you know, fully healthy. They have most of their team, you know, back. The prices are where they should be. There's no like glaring misprices on the Raptors today. So yeah. Hoping for a good prospects to tail tonight over on Patreon. Thanks, Noah, for all you do. We'll definitely get something posted, Robert. I still got to make my Patreon or my prospects entry for Patreon members. But yeah, if you are a Patreon member, I will definitely post at least one entry that I'm playing on prospects tonight for those that want to tail. Washington Jr., Lamar Stevens, or Sykes and Brandon Clark. Man, that's a close one. Give me the second. Give me Sykes and Clark. Booker or Morant? Give me Morant. You like Brandon Clark and Bane at all? I mean, I think Brandon Clark's fine. He's going to probably come off the bench and play like mid-20s minutes. He's playable on this slate. I think Bane's a fine mid-range option. Bagley or Jalen Smith? Give me Jalen Smith. Bridges or Bagley? Give me Bagley over Mikal Bridges, but I don't feel great about either one. Ford and util for 3,100. I mean, if you have 3,100 for those two spots, I mean, there's really nobody that's that cheap that I really have interest in. So you're probably gonna have to rebuild, maybe take somebody out. Herbert Jones or Campaign? Give me Campaign. And are you the man? Thanks for the expert advice. Hey, appreciate you, Mark. What do you think about Sykes and Washington Jr.? I mean, I think they're both really good values right now. You know, with how thin the Pacers are, you got over 30 minutes from both those guys. I think they both play over 30 minutes once again. So yes, guys or Sykes and Washington are both really good values. Trey Jones for value. I think Trey Jones might go back to the bench now that Keita Bates-Diop is back. So, yeah, if Trey Jones goes to the bench, I would not be playing him, personally. Stanley Johnson or Alex Len. I'm pretty sure Stanley Johnson is not playing tonight because he can't. His contract hasn't been renewed. So, Stanley Johnson, I think, will get a DNP. He won't play. And then Alex Len barely played last game. I guess Alex Len, because he's going to at least play minutes. Stanley Johnson. Don't play Stanley Johnson. Pretty sure he's got something with, like, he has to sign another 10-day contract before he can play again, and they haven't agreed to one yet. Love not start? Yeah, Kevin Love doesn't start. He hasn't been starting lately. With Jared Allen back, they've been starting Jared Allen at center. So, yeah, Kevin Love never starts. Or at least now that Jared Allen's back. Hart or Barrett? Give me Josh Hart. Josh Hart or Burks if he starts? Give me Burks if he starts. Again, we're still waiting for that Knicks starting lineup, but I think if Alec Burks does start at point guard, I would like Alec Burks quite a bit. 4,600 util. I mean, probably like Devin Vassell if he starts again, or Damian Jones if you don't have Damian Jones already. Probably one of those two guys. All right, guys, I think I'm out of here. We've been live for about 30 minutes or so. I appreciate you guys tuning into the stream. We will be live again tomorrow, an hour before lock. I will see you guys tomorrow. I think we do have a fairly big slate tomorrow. I'll see you guys then. Best of luck tonight. And I appreciate all you guys tuning in. Make sure to hit the like button before you get out of here. And good luck, fellas. Peace out, everybody.